All right, so I hope that you guys can hear me. I originally wanted to go live a few hours later, in late afternoon where I live, but it just happens that I got some free time after work, so I decided to go live right now. And yeah, first of all, welcome back to Can't Stand. It's been a while since we last saw each other or heard from each other rather, and it's an unfortunate occasion as to why I wanted to go live, but you guys might have heard of the horrible earthquake, or rather earthquakes that have happened in the border region, or rather the area between Turkey and Syria. And I guess you have also all seen the pictures and the videos of destruction and debris and, people being um, under rubble, trying to get out. Many buildings collapsing, of course. Um, yeah, it's just horrible. And I have seen that a few streamers who are either in Turkey or abroad, but of Turkish origin, that they sort of try to communicate between their own families and friends at home and their own fans from around the globe to try to raise some donations that go to the affected areas, because this earthquake, unlike many others in the past, was, well, really tremendous, in the baddest way possible or worst way possible, because so many aftershocks happened. I've actually got some notes somewhere around here. Yeah, well, I think I kind of lost my notes, but anyway, um, the biggest, or the first earthquake happened yesterday at around 4 a.m. and it was, I'm going to show you the area that was, well, mostly affected. So this is from the New York Times, right? And they made a map by utilizing the United States Geological Survey, and this is basically the affected area. So the more reddish, the more worse it was, because the epicenter uh, lay between Gaziantep and, well, basically into the direction of Sivas. And the one city that was most affected, I guess, by destruction is Kahramanmaraş. So it was basically in the middle of or in between the two large earthquakes that happened. And the bad thing is, or the problem is, that so far there have been more than 240 aftershocks. And 100 of these aftershocks had a magnitude bigger than 4.0. So maybe you know this Richter scala or Richter scala. I don't know what you call it in English or how you pronounce it. But basically, the higher up within this scale, the worse the earthquake was. But an earthquake with, let's say, a magnitude of 6.0 is already of larger scale, but an earthquake of 7.0 would be 10 times, well, more intense than the other one. So there's quite a difference between 7.5 and 7.8, but either way, these two quakes were devastating. And, well, it also happened in an area that is being inhabited by around 30 million people. That's the thing. So it didn't happen in Istanbul, as many of us have feared for decades, actually. And I guess if these quakes had happened, in the Marmara region, then you know Istanbul has around 60 million inhabitants. The entire industry is, centered in that city. Actually, all of Turkey is centered in Istanbul. And if these quakes were to happen there, I guess, life would be over, kind of, for the entire country. It didn't thankfully happen in Istanbul, but still, it's, a horrible tragedy. And I think so far, more than 3,500 have been confirmed dead on the Turkish side, and there have also been more than 22,000 injuries counted so far. Keep in mind that still a lot of people are, beneath the debris of the collapsed buildings, and I think I asked some of you guys on the community tab, uh, you know, whether you were in the area, maybe you had family there. I mean, I have a part of my family is there in Kahramanmaraş, and the problem is that, I mean, hopefully, um, those who are still, in between or beneath these buildings are alive and will get out alive, will be safe, will be rescued. But even so, um, if you happen to live in this area, basically, in, how do you call it? White? No, well, it's not really violet, but in the dark red area, chances are that your house, your apartment, whatever, has been damaged in some way, shape, or form. And that's an economic issue that could be resolved. But the larger picture here is that, you guys from Turkey, you know what I'm talking about. Many of the houses, many of the buildings that have been built in at least the past 20 years are not really resistant towards earthquakes. So they are not, how do you say it? They're not secured against larger earthquakes. Um, we have seen this in Izmir, where I think 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, a also large quake happened, but not directly beneath under the city, but in the area rather. And a lot of buildings that were quite new simply collapsed within a few seconds. And that's why I said, if this were to happen in Istanbul, where most of these houses have been built since around 2000, 2005, then, it would be I'll be honest with you, it would be as big as a catastrophe as if Turkey was to be invaded from an outside force. So there have also been a lot of discussions on the internet. I mean, I'm not in the area right now, you guys know that, but I try my best to be sort of informed, not only by family and friends, but also by social media users. And there are some things that I've encountered on social media, that are either very confusing, mind-boggling, or even simply make me angry. I'll be honest with you. This is one of the videos, Adiyaman, which is a city which is also severely affected, and what many people who survived the quake are saying, or people from the from AFAD, which is an organization by the state that is supposed to help people during natural catastrophes. Um, there's simply not enough personnel in the area. They don't have enough equipment. And what the people are saying is, well, you guys are not helping us, or there are not enough people arriving. There's still some districts, for example, in Adiyaman, where it seems that, people they're freezing to death basically at night. And they complained to, I think it was the Wali, so basically the governor of the province. They complained to him that, well, where the hell is help? Why isn't the government doing anything here? And what the Wali was, I guess you can spot it, was simply, I don't know, he just smiled basically, or even laughed. He didn't really take them too serious, it seems. Another thing that I've encountered is this guy. So this is gonna get political, but I guess it had to sooner or later. This guy, he's Mehmet Metinel, and he's AKP member. I think he was also in parliament for some time. And what he did the past few years was basically appear as a guest in many talk shows, on Turkish television like CNN Turk and so on. And he tweeted the following statement and then later deleted it, I guess. But someone made a screenshot, thankfully. And he said stuff like, well, Adiyaman is not alone, but hey, there's the race behind Adiyaman. So Reis is the Cumhurbaşkanı, so the president, basically, the leader. Reis is an older term from the Ottoman era. Oh, never mind that. From the Ottoman era, which basically means as much as leader, not only in a political sense, but in all of life. And he made an implication that since Adiyaman, they did, I guess, in the past few elections, many of the people living there voted for Erdogan and the AKP. Well, they don't need to worry because they were quite loyal to the government, or the AKP rather, and they would get their help. and this caused a lot of backlash. And I mean, this guy has been making provocative. I'm sorry, I'm a bit nervous myself. A lot of provocative statements throughout the last few months, especially regarding the general election coming up in May. Right, we're supposed to have a parliamentary and presidential election on May 14th. I don't know if that's still stands that date, but these people always tell, well, rather these party members, they always tell the people and opposition parties and so on, don't make it political. You're making it political. Just focus on the actual problem at hand. But they are the ones who always make it very political, and that's the problem. And sometimes I wonder, is it just because, for example, right now he deleted the tweet, which is unusual, even for him, even for his standards? Was it because he kind of got nervous and just, was afraid of maybe losing votes in the area? Because if the people won't get enough help, they might remember that in the upcoming elections and then give their vote to some other party and not the AKP. Is that maybe something that a thought that would make them nervous? Is he maybe doing it because he wants to provoke people, the opposition especially? I don't think that would work anyway, because the only people that he's kind of pissing off are his own or their own voters who live in the area. So, that was a very stupid idea. Something else that I saw was, I don't know if you can hear anything. Well, it's not even playing right now. It actually does, yeah. So Muharrem İnce is another politician. Well, I need to zoom in, I guess. All right. He's another politician who was the presidential candidate in the elections in 2018 against Erdogan, and he lost. And it was kind of strange. The party didn't really back him up, especially in the past few weeks prior to the election. And he later left the party, created his own party, the Memleket Partisi. And he's in the area, I don't know where exactly, but he was one of the first politicians who actively, said, okay, guys, we need the Turkish military here because they can help us out. Someone's got to give the order, and the only one who can give the order for the military to act would, of course, be the Cumhurbaşkanı, so the president, Erdogan. Some people, like this guy, kind of attacked him now. So there's a lot of drama going on, as you can see, because they said, "Man, you're making it political, and just focus on the people who are in the streets right now, who have lost their homes and so on." But I wouldn't really say that he made it anything political. He just wanted the president to act and the military to act. So, yeah, make of it as you will. And the military act, it did, certainly. So if you also go, we got the message that the Second Army of the TSK, which, the Türk Silahlı Kuvvetleri, it basically means Turkish Armed Forces, was to be mobilized into the affected area and, work together with AFAD, but perhaps also with other relief teams from other countries who I think are slowly arriving in Turkey. And yeah, that's a good thing. But here's the problem, if you go through the comments, or if you were there actively in the streets, you would hear a lot of complaints where the Turks say, well, why didn't you act last night? Because a day has already, passed, and the first night is over. And who knows how many people really have, I don't know, who have suffered through these the cold night, because the problem is we're in the middle of winter. And I think in Kahraman, I know from Göksun, I think in Kahramanmaraş and also in parts of Adıyaman, I saw snow in the streets. So that complicates things, obviously. So yeah, so now the army is in place, or going in place slowly. And there's also the message from Erdogan himself, who announced that Ohal was basically starting OHAL is a sort of, how do you say it? It's something that gives the president and the local governors some extra power during special times, so to say. So it could be during a war, it could be during a coup, which nearly happened a few years ago. That was the last time where the OHAL in the entire country was activated, so to say. And now he ordered OHAL to take place in the 10 provinces that are affected by the earthquake. Yeah, we'll see what comes out of that. If you're interested in donating and you're within Turkey, I would advise you to donate to Ahbap. So I think I've opened the tab somewhere around here. Let me take a look. Yeah, so this is my new MacBook and I'm still trying to figure things out. Well, basically, if you go to Ahbap, no. All right, so this is it. This is the website. It's a private organization that was, I think, founded by Haluk Levent. He's a famous musician who is, I think, has also lost, I think, his niece. So the daughter of his sister in the earthquake, unfortunately. He is the one who created this or founded this organization back in 2017, and it's basically an organization for relief. So especially in Turkey, but also abroad. And there's a English page for those of you who don't speak or don't read, who don't know Turkish, where there's the banking information where you can basically donate money. So if you wanted to help and said, well, I don't live in Turkey right now, I don't deal in lira or something like that. I may be in Germany, Spain, France, or in the United States, or somewhere else, then you can donate to the following bank accounts. So there are two separate accounts. One is for dealings in euro, and the other in US dollars. Yeah, I mean, I already donated and would appreciate if you guys also, took part in this relief effort. Yeah. So I'm basically coming to you guys with some bad information, but I don't really know how much or how large my reach actually is, because I haven't really done a lot of things here on YouTube, or right now I'm also live on Twitch. But yeah, that's the situation. And even if you were just, if you were able to, I don't know, donate $5 or €2, that would also be greatly appreciated. The great thing is that, and I was kind of surprised, to be honest, but governments from a lot of countries also sent, condolences, but not only condolences, but also actual relief teams to help the relief effort. So I have seen, I've seen images from rescue teams who traveled all the way from Japan to Turkey, who have arrived this morning, I think in Ankara first. They're, I guess, going to be transferred to the earthquake region. There are also countries like our good old neighbor Greece, but also Israel, um, Russia, the United States, of course, who are actively, joined this cause. They are trying to help, and I mean, even countries like Armenia have, for example, at least said that they would be ready to help. It may not be a huge thing, but I think it's still important that so many countries are trying to help Turkey out in these dark times. I mean, I don't know how you guys see it. I don't want to get too political. I mean, I'm already in the political dimension right now, but it's great to hear. And there's a thing that we call earthquake diplomacy, where whenever a natural catastrophe or catastrophe happens or takes place either in Turkey or Greece or in both countries, for example, in the Aegean Sea, then these countries, the governments, no matter how much they were on the brink of war or whatever, they try to come together and help each other out, basically. So this happened in 1999 when the last really big earthquake happened in Turkey, which was in Izmit, and it was also felt in Istanbul, and I think 15,000 people died or 10,000 people died. And Greece was the first country to send, rescue teams over the border. And then a few months later, an earthquake also happened in Greece, which is not really unusual. These two countries are living, life in hard mode anyway. And Turks were the first ones to, on their side, send teams of their own to Greece and help them out and basically return the favor. And sometimes I wish that natural disasters were not needed, or wars were not needed, so that countries would come together regardless, also in, let's say, normal, peaceful times. But still, it's an opportunity, and I hope that the governments of both Greece and Turkey will make use of this opportunity, quote unquote. Yeah, and just, cool things down a bit. So apart from that, I don't really have too much to say. I just wanted to share my thoughts with you guys. And while we are in a live stream, I guess it would also be appropriate to tell you some stuff about me. What is going on with the channel? What is the Khan up to? I know that you guys have probably heard or seen one of my newer videos about the Ottoman Empire. And I had also released a movie, another larger or bigger documentary, longer documentary, back in December. And that was basically it. I don't really upload that much videos anymore. Unlike back in, let's say, 2021, I had rather few videos in 2022, and most of them were either these, I mean, I found them to be funny, these Turkish slander videos where I utilized some memes, or, trailers for projects that I did never manage, or that I didn't manage to complete. Um, the thing is that even while I'm not uploading a video, I'm certainly working on a video, or even on several ones. And as you guys know, I also wrote a book, rather published a book even, back in April last year. And right now I'm also working on a second book, which would be a direct sequel to the first book, which was about, well, the first Göktürk Empire, as you guys know. And the second book would then obviously be about this video, basically about the second Göktürk Empire. And I wasn't too happy with the first book, to be honest. I kind of found, nearly a year later, I'd say that it kind of lacks a certain professionality. Then again, I did utilize and use so many sources and literature, and years of research went into this book, so that you guys wouldn't need to, you know, uh, cram through hundreds and years of old books, or old sources in some obscure languages, or languages that you simply don't understand, like Chinese and Old Greek and Persian and so on. So I basically summarized everything and gave my own theories about the Gökturks, and then published the book. And I'm basically doing the same thing for the second book too, but I'm taking a lot more time. That's the thing. I wanted to take some more time, because this video, for example, was made in like 3 months, I think. And the first Göktürk film was also made in 3 months. But the first Göktürk book I also wrote in about 9 weeks. And 9 weeks, I guess, are simply not enough to write a book, which from start to finish feels like, how do you say it? Well, in German, they say aus einem Guss. So like a fully polished project, a polished book, a polished story. And it's a great story. And I know that a lot of you guys enjoyed it, because a lot of people also bought it, thankfully. So thank you for your support. on that matter. But this polish was sort of lacking. And what I'm basically right now trying to do is redo the first book and at the same time complete the second book. So I'm also going to republish the Kök-Türk's episode 1 or book 1, so to say. So let's go to the Amazon page. I guess we should find it somewhere, right? The Kök-Türks. Yeah, so I know it only has a 3-star rating, unfortunately. Okay, I mean the German version has a 4.5-star rating on Amazon, so I guess that's actually okay. It kind of balances itself out, and yeah, I'm going to republish this first book. This new version will be a lot longer, will contain more information, it will be more polished, it will also contain some news sources, some updated information. And the second book is from start to finish going to be really great. You can count on that. I'm also going to draw some parallels from old Turkic or Turkish history to, well, the history of other civilizations. For example, that of the Romans or the Persians. And that might interest you guys. Yeah, but apart from that, I didn't really, there's not much activity on Khan's stand because I have one simple problem, to be perfectly honest, and that's that I'm kind of, I don't really have that time to make more videos for the channel. So each video that I make, for example, the last one about the Ottomans was, I guess, quite good, from an audiovisual standpoint. It was informative, and the people who watched it liked it, but it only got like 2,000 views within, well, it's nearly been 3 weeks. And that's okay, and that's normal for the YouTube algorithm. But if I were to upload another video a week later and then a new video and so on, so maybe one video per week or at least 2 videos per month, then the algorithm would pick up my channel once again and show these videos to more people. And then I would get more subscribers, more viewers, and so on. The problem is that I simply don't have the energy to make more videos in the same amount of time because I'm doing all of this myself. So the research, as always, the script, most of the times the narration. Sometimes I had some money from the monetization of all videos and I hired a voice actor or utilized an artificial intelligence, AI voice, so to say. But I also do the video editing, the maps that you see here. I made it all from scratch and I'm kind of proud of that. But the problem is it's just so time consuming and it's also stressful. So that's the reason why I don't really have a schedule that I used to have 1 or 2 years ago. So I might, show you a trailer or make an announcement regarding future projects, and I'm going to work on them and finish them, but I can't really promise, any certain dates. That's the issue. So if there were more people or some people who were able to help me out with video editing, for example, or doing research, that would be awesome because there's so much to tell about Turkish history. But one man doing it all by himself, it's just too stressful. And I also have an actual job that consumes more than 40 hours of my week. I also have private life and stuff. So it's not a big issue, but it would be cool to expand my team, so to say. And the thing is that Can't Stand is not supposed to be a typical YouTube channel. You guys know that by now. It's basically a project with 3 large steps. The first step was to upload videos onto the internet with my own narration and tell the people about parts of history that they might have never heard about, like the history of the Kök-Türks and Tengrism. In the second step, I wanted to make the same basically, but in the form of books. So I wanted to write and publish books and basically give an expanded version of my videos. I also did that one. The third step would be to combine several types of media and try to, they would basically accompany each other and complement each other and have one common goal. For example, regarding the Göktürks, I want to, I have few theories of mine, and these theories I can best explain if I make videos about it and write a book about it and make a video game about it and publish a manga about it. I don't know, something like that. And that's just too much because I can only make videos and write books, and both of them need a lot of time. And I already don't have as much time as I used to have, like a year ago, like last year or the year before that. Um, so yeah, I actually had contact with a few people, very talented guys and gals, who wanted to work on a manga, so a comic basically about the Ashina dynasty, about the Gök-Türk, or the actual Türk people. I also have someone who studied video game design, and he's also interested in making music composition. So he's a musician or composer of sorts, and he's also very talented. And he's basically just waiting for me to go on and say, okay, let's work on a video game about the Göktürk history. But I would simply need a few more people on the team. So if any of one is interested, if any of you guys wants to help out or has some sort of talent regarding, well, not just video editing or making games or something like that, but also simply drawing stuff, also digitally, or if you're simply interested in history, as much or even more than I do, it would be awesome, to get some summary about a certain topic so that I can make a script out of it and then a video. Yeah, but that's on the constant part. As I said, right now, the thing that is especially occupying my mind is the earthquake, or are the earthquakes in Turkey. They also affected, of course, parts of Syria, northern Syria, as we saw on the map. But I don't know what's happening in Syria right now. It's an isolated country anyway. So yeah, this is, for example, an image from the Japanese relief team that arrived in Turkey yesterday. I'm very grateful for their help. There was also a tweet by the Prime Minister of South Korea, who said something about the brotherly nation of Turkey, that Korea wants to help out, because as we saw in the Korean War in the 50s, that Turkey and Korea have a special connection. So that really warmed my heart. That was awesome. Yeah. So this is, I don't know if you guys have seen this map. I mean, the Turks certainly have. This is basically the fault line that goes from Western Anatolia to Eastern Anatolia. And Marash is basically exactly here in this reddish part. And these areas are most often affected by earthquakes. And provinces or cities like Konya, Karaman, Ankara, less so. But I mean, a few months ago, an earthquake, I think of magnitude 5, also happened in Konya, but it was in a very rural area with very few population, so there wasn't that much destruction, thankfully, or any lives lost. Yeah, so as I said, things are heating up right now in Turkey for all the wrong reasons. I hope that the people will calm down. I've also seen this thing this morning. Someone sent it to me. It is, I guess, is a comic or caricature of Charlie Hebdo. You've probably heard of it. It's a satirical newspaper stuff. I don't know. There were victims of an Islamist bombing or attack back in 2015 in France, and they are indeed known to publish controversial stuff. And this one here is obviously about the earthquake in Turkey. And in French, it says something like, well, you don't even need any tanks for this kind of devastation. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I don't really care about Charlie Hebdo, to be honest. I am neither pro or contra, but this stuff was rather pathetic and, to be honest, quite disgusting. But there's also a positive side, as I said, because a lot of people are coming together to help out and donate. One of them is Hassan Abi. He's an influential streamer and influencer, so to say, who resides in the United States, but he's also of Turkish origin. And he has basically published a website together with Ahbab and Akut, who are, all, as I said, fundraising organizations within Turkey. And he and his followers have donated more than 600,000 US dollars so far. And that's really awesome. So you can, as I said, do it directly via Ahbab, or you can go to this site and, make a donation. You can also write a comment about it. So there are donations as low as $8. Obviously, some wealthy people were able to donate 20,000 or 10,000. So whatever it is, it's really appreciated by us, by the it's appreciated by the Turkish people, and obviously by people like me whose families are affected. So yeah, so that's about it. Thank you guys for joining. I hope that I could clear maybe up some misconceptions or give you some vital information. As someone living abroad, it's sort of difficult to gain access to these funding websites or relief websites. But as I said, ahbab.org has its own page in English, and you can also directly donate via Hassan Abi's link. So I'm going to make a community post on YouTube and Instagram where you can take the links basically and follow them, and then, well, do your work. And yeah, thanks for joining. I hope you guys have a great and safe day. If you're in the affected area, stay safe. Take care of your family and your friends. And yeah, see you around.